Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Kirsten Liebelt. Jump on in, you guys. I was kind of like watching the race. Okay, who's going to show up first, Instagram or Facebook? Let's find out. Okay, how are you doing? Welcome in, you guys. It is Tuesday. It is so good to see you. Grab your coffee, your tea, your cocoa, maybe you're drinking. Okay, has anybody been drinking? I know my daughter got some. Any of the electrolytes that are in the caramel or the cocoa variety. That is a great way to do cocoa for the winter, you guys. LMNT has that element, or salt tea. They have like these cocoa caramel varieties. Really good way. It's like you're drinking a salty caramel hot drink. I'm in Minnesota, so you can understand. And today it's like we're on the verge of snow. Like any second now. Right now, like the fog is out of control. Looks like a super scary movie. Whoa! But any minute now. Good morning, Jody. Good morning, Lori. Good to see you. You made it. I'm so glad you made it, Lori. I'm so glad. Very, very good. Okay. 2 days away from Thanksgiving. How's everybody doing? How are we doing? Telling you the countdown is on right now. It's kind of feeling like, I don't know. I'm going to go shopping with my daughter this weekend. Nothing could make me happier. Things like that just fill up my love tank to spend time with my daughter. She's a super busy mom and I've been busy. And so it's good to spend time together. Good morning, Lisa, my Minnesota friend. So you can see all the fog. Crazy pants here in Minnesota. Jump on in, you guys, on TikTok. I would love to have you join us today. So good morning, sweet lady Patty. Good to see you. Every day at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, we go live and we talk about Monday through Friday, insulin resistance. And we've been doing this for almost 2 years, unless, of course, it's a holiday. So I won't be here on Thursday. And to be really honest, I'm not sure if I'm going to be here on Friday. What's everybody doing on Friday? You tell me what you're doing on Friday. I would love to know. And then we also have a Facebook group where we do a free 5-day challenge every month. And that's coming up December 8th. So if you have not yet started like the total body reset and you want to do that and you want to jump into the group, December 8th, Monday at 1 a.m. Central, there's a little time change there. Don't forget that. And we've done that for 2.5 years because it's the consistency in the small, daily, mundane, boring habits that actually get you success. That's like one of the biggest success principles that you can have is it's like the book, The Slight Edge, The Compound Effect, Atomic Habits, those types of books that teach you how to just do a little and then a little and then a little, but you keep doing it consistently. Like you don't like do it for just a tiny bit and then stop. You do it and then you do it and you just keep on chunking away. It's that. Does anybody know who John Maxwell is? He talks about the taking the axe to the tree, 5 swings every day. And eventually the tree will fall. That's what we're doing. So there you go. Our 5-day challenge. That's like our 5 swings. Good morning, Terry. Good to see you, Sue. Hi. Good to see you too. Wow, you guys, Barb from Ontario. Awesome. Everybody's in the house. And by the way, I was thinking about that this morning, Barb, that I don't say it enough. If you are from Canada and you are going to purchase from me, will you please ask me for my Canadian link? You need to have a Canadian link, okay? And then things will come from within your own country. And it makes life so much easier for you. But then when the customer campaign here in the United States is when you purchase 150 3 months in a row and you get 75 off, for Canada, it's 200 and then you get 100 off. So there is just an offset, but it's still such a really good campaign. So anyway, all right, let's jump in, you guys. The conversation that I'm going to have today is the conversation that everybody tends to want to have. And that is, why do we become so fat? Like, why does this happen? And where is this root cause that nobody's talking to us about? And I wanted to go over a little bit of information. I really appreciate Dr. Ben Bikman. Do people know who Dr. Ben Bikman is? I appreciate his information. And so this is stemming from or inspired by his stuff, because again, until we can understand how we've been given such bad information, we can't fix it. And obviously the answer is always insulin resistance in my world with what I'm talking about, but maybe I can help you understand it just a little tiny better. Okay. Then you can stop being so mean to yourself. Like, you're going to go now into Thanksgiving and you're going to go into Christmas and you're going to wonder why your body isn't performing the way you want it to perform. Maybe you are. Maybe you're going to be like, oh, geez, I barely ate anything and I'm still so freaking bloated. And you're on Thanksgiving Day and you're like, oh, the holidays suck. And you're like, this is dumb. And it's like, well, if we can shift the way that your system is actually working inside of you, it will produce a different result for you. And then you will be so much happier. So we'll get to that in just a second. Okay. But today I want to tell you something. It might, if you're new, because if you've been here for a while, you already know kind of my stuff, but it might flip everything you've ever believed about weight gain. It just might shift you. Okay. So it's not your calories. I understand everything plays a part, but just track with me. Okay. It's not your calories. It's not your willpower. It's your hormones. And it's not this big mountainous convoluted, oh, but who could possibly understand the hormones of a female? That's how we've been treated forever and ever and ever. Can I get an amen? I mean, seriously, like that's how we've been treated. Like, oh, it's so hard to understand. Like, don't even try on your own. I mean, that's how it has felt to me. Maybe it's just me, but it's like, this is ridiculous. If we can figure out our 13-year-old bodies, when we're just getting our cycle and figuring it out, we can figure out our 40 and 50 and 60-year-old bodies. Like, come on, we have intuition. God has given us insight into our own bodies. Let's go. Let's go. So I'm 60. It took me a while. I was a little slow, a little bit of a turtle. I was a 2X in size when I hit my 50s, just like right here on that picture. I put that up on TikTok. 2X in size. It was during the Christmas season. It was during right now where I went, I got to figure this out. And I worked on, in my own head, changing out a few things that year and being more mindful for the first time, possibly I would say probably since my dad had died, which was 20 years earlier. Probably for the first time in 20 years, I went, okay, I'm just going to be mindful. Like I can do that. And I started my journey. Okay. So there you go. But if your insulin is high, you cannot burn fat. If your insulin is high, you can't burn fat, even if you barely eat. So you need to hear me on this. Okay. Insulin is a hormone. And so you might be thinking, but I'm eating less and I'm like skipping meals and I'm all doing all these things. And your body's going, excuse me, like I need to function and you're working against me. And so I'm not necessarily huge on always like this big fasting state and everything at 60, like your body, there are different ways to take care of things that are less stressful for your body's response. Okay. So I was a 2X at Christmas, very exhausted. You might feel the same way. I was craving everything. I was raised where I was talking to my son-in-law the other day about this. I was over at their house and I said, my mom used to make these caramel rolls. And I've brought this up before with you guys. She was a home ec teacher and she would make the 9x13 pans and everything was always from scratch with her. Never anything from a box, rarely. And, except for maybe Jell-O, but she would do the 9x13 pan. And then the cutting board that you pull out from your kitchen counter, and she would flip it up on there. And I just remember being like a little higher than the cutting board and just watching, eyesight with all the caramel that's coming off the sides. But the other thing that she did was in Christmas time, we had a refrigerator in our garage. I grew up in a suburb of Minneapolis. And we had a second refrigerator because my dad was a restaurateur when I was a kid. So like having extra of everything, extra pots and pans, extra, restaurant grade, stock pots to make sauce in and all that stuff. So having an extra refrigerator was like, so nobody else had that. Like it was just us. We were the weirdos. But my mom during Christmas time would make all of these candies, all of the coconut balls with the sweetened condensed milk. And then she'd dip them in chocolate and put them on wax paper and put them in the freezer or the refrigerator. And I mean, we had all of it. You'd open it up and every day she had a new candy out there and we'd be stealing and, all that good stuff. But that was my world. And so those emotional memories were very embedded in me, that you hit the holidays and you just indulge and you enjoy, because that is how you enjoy the holidays, is to indulge and to eat all of the goodies, because it's your one day. You tell yourself it's your one day, blah, blah, blah. But then you end up maybe constipated, bloated. You just feel like crap. Now you're beating yourself up. Now you're trying to like shop for clothes because there's a sale on Black Friday. And you're like, why did I do that to myself? Or I mean, it could be any time of the season, but there's just this cycle that takes place. And at some point, when you make that decision to shift, the understanding of this being a hormonal conversation really supports your ability to not be crazy while you're doing this. You don't have to feel like you're insane or that you're lying to yourself anymore. You can actually like be a truth teller to yourself. Susan, good morning. Jody says, amen. WW. Yep, that's right, Jody. Oh my gosh. So true. Anyway, Susan, you're so cute. You guys are awesome. I should have checked my comments a while back. But anyway, nonetheless, you can break this cycle. And that's why we're going to talk about hormones for just a second. So it wasn't an overeating problem. I mean, during the holidays, probably for sure, but it was definitely an insulin problem. And with my dad having died at 63 from type 2, like seriously, right? So, and the moment that I fixed my body, I remembered exactly how the moment I fixed the way that I was viewing things, like through insulin resistance, that's when my body remembered how to burn fat again. Remember 2 reasons why you can't burn fat: high insulin, sluggish liver. High insulin, sluggish liver. Okay. I didn't cut my calories. I corrected the system. Doesn't mean that calories don't play a part. I say that all the time, but let's work with the deep rooted system first. Okay. So here we go. So most of us have been told the same story. We gain weight because we eat too much and we move too little. But if that were true, obesity wouldn't be exploding in an era where we have food apps, low calorie everything, fitness trackers, and weight loss drugs on every street corner, if that were just the truth. So Dr. Ben Bickman, he is simplifying the truth and the information that I was looking at. So we don't get fat because we eat too much. We get fat because our hormones tell our body to store energy instead of burning it. And that energy is the fat. So your body's just in storage mode because your body's super efficient and it's going to do its job. Okay. But when insulin stays high, the body gets stuck in fat storage mode. So here you are with high insulin and it's like store, 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 store. And you're like, what's going on? And you have every answer in your head as to what's going on, except for the answer that says your insulin is high. And you're like, well, what does that mean? Like, my labs were fine. My labs are fine. My A1C is a 5.3. Like, I'm good. Like, no blood sugar issues. I had somebody just tell me this. I said, so how are your sugars? They're perfect. And without being like a detective, and of course I didn't say anything, but it was very obvious. She is very, very insulin resistant. Okay. So it was very obvious at where she was holding her weight in her body. And she's much older than I am. And so it was just classic signs. Okay. But she's like, oh no blood sugar issues at all. I have none. And I'm like, that's because your insulin is high as a hormone, but it hasn't been overtaken yet enough for your blood sugar to rise. But that is what's going to happen. Now, I'm not a doctor. I did not say that to her at all, of course. I'll just say this to you. That's the next step. Hands down. This is how this goes. You can have high insulin for a decade, 2 decades. Nobody will ever tell you because they'll never run a fasting insulin test, usually. But then the next step is that eventually your blood sugar is going to rise because your insulin just can't take care of it all the time. So what does that mean and what does that look like? Well, it looks like your cell in your body is open to having insulin bring energy to it. Come on, energy. And it takes it and it gobbles it up and you have energy in your body. When that cell becomes, what's the term? What is the term, you guys? Come on. When your cell becomes resistant, this is what insulin resistance means. It means that your cell is resistant to insulin bringing in the energy. So the door is closed. The lock has been changed. And now insulin is trying to get into the cell and it can't. But it's a fat storing hormone. So now it's going to store. And remember when we talked yesterday about the difference between a cortisol belly and an insulin belly? That insulin belly is the low belly. It's rounded and it's low. It's like a little pooch, right? That's storing. It's because all that excess insulin is storing fat deep into your organs, deep around your organs, in your organs. This is not good, right? Cortisol belly was high and hard. That's that stress, right? So now your insulin for years, decades, for me, easily like 30 years of storing. Easily, because I was already gestational diabetic with my first baby, hypoglycemic with my second baby. Like, I'm just saying. So it was like years and years and years. Okay. By the time I actually did anything, and then I was a 2X in size. So my outside just started to reflect what was already getting laid down inside, is really what happens, right? Pushes you out, blah, blah, blah. So having said that, when that happens, then now you have this cell that the door is closed and all of this excess energy gets stored as fat, stored as fat, stored as fat. And you're like, I feel like I am hitting my head against a freaking brick wall. I have like lowered my calories and I've increased my cardio and I've cut out almost everything that I love and I just can't lose 1 pound. And that's the insulin conversation. So when insulin stays high, the body gets stuck in fat storage mode. It turns fat cells, it tells fat cells to lock the door. Nothing gets out. Even when you cut calories, those fat cells refuse to open. When insulin is high, your brain thinks that you're starving. So now you're like hungry, 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 right? You're hungry, you're fatigued, you binge, you rebound, you blame yourself. Like this could easily start to describe some people and how they will holiday. It'll be a cycle of, but I'm hungry. Oh, but I'm so exhausted. And then you binge and then you rebound and then you blame yourself and you're mean. And now your holidays are ruined. And you just can't wait to get to January 1st because you're so sure that in January, you'll be able to figure it out because there won't be so much pressure around you or the parties will be done, right? Ask me how I know this stuff. Just ask me how I know. People with insulin resistance are not lazy or gluttonous. Their cells are locked away from their own stored fuel. It's just the way that it is. So this is where most women get tripped up. It's not the number of calories. It's the hormonal impact of those calories. Refined carbs like bread, pasta, noodles, cereal, sugar, they all spike insulin really, really fast. And then seed oils inflame the system. So you've got this whole like thing going on, right? So refined carbs, just keep on like spiking and then calling on insulin and spiking and calling on insulin. Snacking all day keeps insulin high. So fat burning never turns on. And especially during the holidays, if we've got leftovers and we've got we're doing cookie exchanges and we're doing like, we're going home with leftovers, like who's got their Tupperware all ready to go to like send things home with everybody. And then we just snack and snack and snack because sometimes I feel like it's because we want to keep the feeling alive of socialization. We want to keep the feeling alive of the good memory of hanging out with good friends or whatever it is. I'm just, saying like sometimes it's so much more emotional that we don't even recognize that, right? But high insulin creates this paradox. You feel overfed, but you also feel undernourished. Okay. At the same time, two things can be true at the same time. But when insulin calms, everything changes. So the opposite is then true. Bring down that insulin and all of a sudden energy flows, appetite stabilizes, fat burns naturally. Do you understand? So your goal is to get that insulin down, down, down. So most people don't have a fat problem. They have a fat metabolism problem. Obesity is not a condition of too much energy. It's a condition of trapped energy. When insulin is high, fat cells become prisons. It's a condition of trapped energy. When insulin is low, they become power plants. So we got to get the insulin down, okay? And then your other key is that the liver, if that's sluggish and it's your fat metabolizing organ, it's not doing its job because it can't, because it's stuck. So insulin liver. This is the conversation that we have all the time. Lori says, oh, here, I'm going to go back. Hold on just a second. Deborah, good to see you. Lucinda, good to see you. Cheryl, good to see you. Kirsten, thank you for leading us toward better health. Watching from Kuwait. That's terrific, Cheryl. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you very much. Aren't you kind? All the way from Kuwait. That's so sweet that you know this. Okay, Lucinda, good morning. Deborah, good morning. She says, good morning, Kirsten and friends. Lori, truly, memories do call us to eat. My mom was a home economic teacher too. Amazing. Crazy. Your liver must be exhausted because you have no gallbladder, Lori. It works overtime. It just works double time, doesn't it? That situation matches me to a T, Deborah says. I'm so happy. Oh, Susan. I'm so happy I found you. I've never felt better, and I really needed help and wasn't getting it from my PCP or endocrinologist. They didn't hear me. It's a very frustrating cycle, and I am just one voice. Sometimes I feel like I'm just such a grain of sand on the biggest beach that there ever was. And, sometimes if I think of it that way, it can feel overwhelming. So I work hard not to, because it's like, this is so dumb. It's so dumb to me in my head. Like, simple information. Come on. Like, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. Anyway, insulin belly is you, Deborah says. Luana, good morning, my Minnesota friend. Good morning. Good to see you. I think I missed something over here. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, I think I'm good. Thank you for the hearts. You're amazing. Thank you. Trina, thank you so much. You're very nice. All right, so let's just kind of wrap that up a tiny, tiny bit. So if it's not about discipline and it's about consistency, which is true, it's the modern environment. So we have to look at what's going to be, just even if you just became more mindful this holiday season, as you're shopping and as you're doing all the things, think about all the sugary drinks, the refined carbs, the processed oils, the late night eating, the chronic stress, the light at night. Okay. So like too much light, like blue light, right? Snacking everywhere you turn. Like if you are in the working environment, when I worked in corporate America, which Lord knows that was not a match for me. That was not a match. I mean, I liked the people that I worked with. They were very, very nice. But oy vey, nope. Had to be a business owner, entrepreneur instead. But anyway, there was food everywhere. Everywhere. I worked in, okay, little secret. I've never told this before. So I worked in a closing department of a title company for a while, for real estate, right? And literally, those big, huge file cabinets where you have those big drawers that you pull out for files. They had one filled with candy, like bags of candy, because they would take the candy and they would put them in bowls for the closing table. Well, are you serious right now, Clark? You serious right now, Clark? I mean, it was terrible. We ate candy all day long. It was really, really bad. Any hoodle. But snacking is everywhere. And especially right now during the season, like you guys, we know what it's going to be like, right? So that's why we have to have a different thought process as to how we're doing things. But all of it is spiking insulin. So, you can eat real food. You can make some different decisions, but don't require perfection of yourself. Require progress. As you're even trying to wrap your brain around, like even Susan's like, I'm so glad I found you. You're my PCP and my endocrinologist. Listen, you have a lifetime of indoctrination in your brain right now. Don't expect yourself to learn a new language overnight. Don't be so hard on yourself, but be mindful. Maybe it's like you don't just sit and eat every single piece of butter brickle. Boy, you can tell that was my mother's. I'm aging myself. But you don't eat every single piece of candy that's on every single tray. You know what I mean? Like, fill up on protein. Eat the ham, eat the turkey, eat the beef brisket, you know what I'm saying? Lay a foundation in your tummy before you start spiking anything. Or maybe you teach yourself how to enjoy a bite of something. Or maybe you teach yourself, you have to decide for yourself what it's going to look like, because everybody's going to be different. Maybe your winning goal is that you just didn't binge, because you might be new at this. So maybe Susan's 60 days in and she's like, I'm so glad I found you. She probably feels like she has a little bit of a better handle, because I bet her food noise is down a little more. I bet that that's where she is probably feeling. And Deborah, I love that. Deborah goes, correction. Insulin belly has been me in the past. I love that. That's so good, Deborah. That's really, really good. I love that. Speak the way that it should be. So, but here's the truth is that, we don't get fat because we eat too much. We get fat because our bodies forget how to burn. So it's up to us to teach our bodies how to burn again. Lower your insulin. You have to calm your system. You have to return your body to back to a rhythm. But what happens then is you can end up helping your brain fog and your poor focus and your low motivation, and your sugar cravings can come down, and the food noise can get silenced, and all of these things. And you start to feel a little more normal. And then what happens is you start to feel like a little bit more like yourself. And you feel a little more stabilization, like in your mood. And you're like, okay, I just might end up with a handle on this. I just might. Yes, definitely the food noise is down, Susan says. And I'm telling you, like, this is just how biology works. So this is not me making a claim about any, like fancy pants, like packaged anything. This is me explaining to you the inside of your body. And if you will treat it differently, it will produce for you a different result. Okay. And so what that looks like for me, and in talking to you guys, watching for the first time, Kim, so nice to meet you. Where are you coming in from? That's awesome. So when I talk to you guys every day, my goal is to give you as much value as I possibly can, so that you have understanding, so that you can walk away and have understanding. If you never connect with me, I want to make sure that you have heard the simple truths of, if your insulin is high or your liver is sluggish, you cannot burn fat. So stop thinking it's only about like you being a lame loser, that you just don't have any discipline. You don't have any, ability, like you've failed at everything you've ever tried. Anyway, Ontario, nice to meet you, Kim. Don't do that. You're hoping insulin belly will soon be me in the past, Cheryl. There you go. So I talk about how I started when I was a 2X. And for all of you Canadian girls, this is where you would start, because this is what is available in Canada. But you always need to ask me for my Canadian link. Okay. So my site is my first and last name .com. So Kirsten Liebelt is my name, KirstenLiebelt. And then you would just no space in there. And then you would just put .com. Okay. And you can go there and you can look at this for yourself. And I'm telling you that right now, before I get started, to show you this 6-piece, because on my site, if you go and you look at the trio for you Canadian girls, if you look at the trio, you'll see a Canadian link right there for you. So I want you to know that. Hold on. I forget to tell you guys that enough. Like, I'm so grateful for my Canadian customers, but I want you to know that. So right here, when you go to my site, there's my face right there. And at the very, very top, there's the trio. If you click on that, you're going to see my before and after, but you'll see a USA link. And then right under it, there's a Canadian link. Okay. So I just want you to know that's there for you. Should you ever, today, in the future, down the road, some people come back, they're like, I've watched you for a year, blah, blah, blah. Just know that. Okay. So that's what I did, was I started with just these 3. And the reason why is because I wasn't a supplementer. I didn't know anything, and I wasn't going to trade out my foods. I was very, very attached to everything that I just told you. Like, I just speak from where my heart was. When I would enter the Christmas season, I just felt this sense of like defeat before I even started. Like, how can I possibly not overeat? How could I possibly not eat every single piece of pecan pie and all of the candies that are set out and all? How would that possibly happen? So that's where I was mentally. Now I'm removed from that because I've switched my narrative, but this is all I could figure out to do. This was it. I was like, okay, fine. At least I can take some supplements and try. Like, okay, whatever. Because I didn't supplement. I took ibuprofen. So this is the trio. This is half of the total body reset right there. That's half of it right there. Super simple. But I'm going to tell you everything that I just talked about, insulin and insulin, liver, metabolism, all three taken care of in one fell swoop. 3 times a day is this one, the capsule, and then twice a day. And for anybody that's already on these three, the trio, if you need a little extra, read all about it, help. Some people, and I'm not giving you any advice. I'm just telling you that I have friends. They'll take 2 of these 3 times a day, 2 of these 3 times a day. Okay. Because they're really trying to tamp down that insulin. Okay. That's half, 50% of the total body reset. There you go. Hi, Margaret. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. So basically, when I started, I knew that I had to deal with my sugars. This is where this all comes in for the 3. My mom wouldn't leave me alone about my sugars. My dad died of type 2 diabetes when he was 63 years old. I was already gestational diabetic. I do literally nothing. He dies when I'm 30. I do nothing till I'm 50. And I'm a 2X in size, and I have to deal with my sugars. So that's where these 3 things come in. This is where this all comes in, helping me with my sugars, my insulin, my liver, and my metabolism. And I work with those first. Then now you guys are able to you put my results to shame because I was very slow and boring. Lori, nice. Put a little maple leaf there for you Canadian girls. I like that. Then the next thing that now for the total body reset, this is a gut primer. Okay. So I'm going to show you just a little scoop-a-doop. So it tastes like green tea, does not taste like chocolate milk. I'm so sorry. Wish it did. It doesn't. It's 6 blends though. This is an actual gastrointestinal primer. This is not just a greens product. So don't have just a greens product in your brain. You have to think bigger than that. You have to think way more comprehensive than that. Think leaky gut, supporting the healing and the sealing of your gut so that you can actually absorb nutrients, bring down that inflammation. You guys have had the most amazing testimonies that you have sent to me when it comes to constipation and indigestion and bloating, the bloating that has gone away. Because it is actually helping your liver do its job. So especially for women that do not have their gallbladder anymore, that is a really, really good place to start. I was going to see if I could show you a picture of my daughter. She sent me one day this amazing, and so now I've plastered it all over social media with her permission. Of course, I would never do it without her permission. But she gave me this picture. This was one weekend she did a binge. And so she was super bloated. And she's like, I know I'm supposed to take that at the beginning of the day. I'm going to take it before I go to bed. And those were her results. She goes, Mom, I was still actually a little puffy the next morning, but her bloat went just like you poked a balloon, right? So I'm just telling you, that's the kind of thought process. So every day I do this. That's the 4th piece of the total body reset. The 5th piece is the probiotic. You have to recalibrate your microbiome. 5 live strains. Don't take this with anything hot. They are alive. Not that you would know, but it's just a powder that you put on your tongue, and it has stick to the gut technology and stay alive technology. Like, very important. Taking trash, you'll spend a lot of money potentially in life for probiotics that will never do anything to help recalibrate your microbiome. That's just the truth. And so I'm just going to tell you, this is such a great way to repopulate that good bacteria. And then the very, very last piece is the orange pixie stick. This is what actually targets visceral fat. Like that is literally what it does. And we have like an MRI that went from a fatty liver that went from bad to mild. I have visceral fat scans from you guys. Like that's how you notice all of the inches from your trunk area going away, because it's literally doing it from the inside out. That's the total body reset, all 6 pieces. And for anybody who has never, ever heard me talk about any of this before, I track what is happening with people earning their $75 every 3 months. And it is amazing how many of you understand the value of being paid for your wellness journey. It is amazing because nobody else is doing this. So when you purchase 150 3 months in a row, you get $75 off your 3rd month. You don't have to have a certain kind of products. You don't have to track it. You don't have to code it. You don't have to discount. You don't have to do anything. It will literally come off of your order. And for everybody, I had somebody start up again this morning now, and it gets me so freaking excited because if you'll do the total body reset November, December, January, in January, they're going to add an extra $50 bonus. So she's going to get $125 off in January. Doggone it, you guys. That is an opportunity. And then you still have another 3 months left on your guarantee because it's a 6-month money back guarantee. Cheryl, I wish I did. She says she lives in Kuwait, but she will be in England in December. Do I ship to the UK? I do not. I wish I did. You guys, I would have such an international opportunity for all of the people that are in the UK, South Africa, Australia, just those 3 places alone. God, dang, I wish. Belly bloat, Lori. I know. And what happens is it's the mental cycle that we go through because of it. So I feel like we will have a day of bloat and convince ourselves that we've gained 10 pounds. And so then we go, so then what's the point? What's the point? Give me the candy. Give me the whatever it is, whatever your thing is. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. It's not going to change anyway. And we just kind of stay in the cycle. And it's a whole self-sabotaging cycle. And you don't have to live that way. And in fact, let me recommend a book to you today. I've recommended this before, but if you will, you can do a couple of different things during this holiday season for yourself. One of them is, yes, you can connect to me. That is one option. You can connect to me. You'll get me in your back pocket. We'll have that free 5-day challenge inside of the Facebook group. You don't have to purchase anything to get in there. I'm just telling you that that's what we do. We've done that for 2.5 years. And you can have somebody walk journey with you, and you can get very excited about a completely different place to be in January. So that is one option. But you know what? You can do some things just for yourself without ever even worrying about connecting with me too. That's really important for you to know. Understand that if you have high insulin or a sluggish liver, you cannot burn fat. That's literally what this entire thing is talking about all the time. Insulin, liver, like insulin and liver and your gut. Like that's how we're going to get this to give you a different result. That's how you guys get me the testimonies. But anyway, my point being that when you see my face on my site and you go right here, here's an Amazon, the rainforest TikTok, not the river, the rainforest. You can't say things. If you go to my favorite list, right down here, go all the way down. This book right there, Self-Sabotage No More. Self-Sabotage No More. How much is it today? Let's see how much it is today. It is $12.99. Really good book right there, because you have to learn your own cycles. You have to learn why you keep on taking an action that gives you permission to kind of jump off the cliff a little bit. And it's probably a belief or a safety mechanism that your body put into place when you were really young. It's probably a belief, something like that, from when you were really young. And it's just your body trying to protect you. So again, This helps you to not be so mean to yourself, but to understand your own cycle. So that's a very, very good book right there. Oh, Cheryl, somebody that could bring them in February. They live in the States. Is that what you're saying, Cheryl? Does the third order discount also apply if 9 months of the supplements are ordered at one time? No. That is an excellent question. That is an excellent question, but no, Cheryl. That is it's a consistency reward. So it is every 3 months at 150 or more, you get $75 off. But right now, over the holidays, everybody, no matter where you are in your cycle, you're going to get a bonus of 50 in January. So that is a consistency thing. They're visiting the USA. Cheryl, they would have to like make a customer account with me, order it, and then they would have to bring it. I can't ship it because then I am an exporter, and I won't do that because that would be illegal. So I don't do stuff like that, but they can do it. They can purchase it through me, and then they can bring it to you. So you can always reach out to me on Facebook, get in my messenger, and ask me questions if you need to. But Lori, great reinforcement here. Thank you for this platform. You're so welcome, Lori. Okay, so the 5-day challenge, it starts December 8th, Monday, December 8th, okay, in the group. The group is Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Asks you for your email to get in. That's the only way I can communicate with people, so give your email. And then it's free. Every day at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time on Monday through Friday, we will go through insulin resistance, food ingredient trade-outs. I'm going to give you a tour of my pantry and my refrigerator. I'll go a deep dive. I know that I go fast. Every day I go fast. I'm like, because I don't want to overwhelm, but I also like, this isn't being inside of a group where we can sit for the entire time and I can give you a deep dive and give you testimony after testimony after testimony after testimony and get you to understand on a different level. It's super helpful. And then we do a recipe. We do all those fun things. And so December 8th, put it on your calendar, put a little note in your phone. And if you're not in the group yet, get in the group because that's what we'll do. But anybody who's like, you know what? I don't want the holidays to be the same that they have been every single freaking year. Grab your total body reset, get it in your hands, set a little note on your calendar for Monday, December the 8th, and let's do it together. And then you will take 1 or 2 things from that week. You don't have to know a million things. You just need a couple of things. And then you implement them. And then we'll do it again in January. We'll have another 5-day reset. And then we'll do it again in February. And like I said, we've done it for 2.5 years. So what that tells you is that you actually have a path. You have a direction and you have a path to get the results of everybody that you hear about. When you hear about somebody who, like for me, I lost my 3 sizes in my 50s, but I've kept it off. That's the story. Terry lost 50 pounds at 62, but she's kept it off now for a year. Claudette was 74. She lost 45 pounds. I mean, I'm telling you, like, age is not the conversation. We're having the wrong conversation. It is a hormonal conversation. It's a cellular conversation. And we can flip the way that your body is delivering you a result. I know. It's so much fun. Get in. Are you in the group? Get in the group. And are you Teresa? My grandma's name was Teresa, my Italian grandma. See you later, Terry. I will be live tomorrow. Yes, ma'am. I'll be here. Jump back in. You're welcome, Cheryl. You are welcome. So anybody who's like, okay, Kirsten, I need to know, like, how do I just grab the total body reset so that I can be in? I'm going to get in the group. I'm going to actually do December completely differently. You can do it a couple of different ways. All right. So if you are like, lady, I don't even want to talk to you. See you later, Jody. I don't even want to talk to you. I just want to go and look and see what you have going. You can go to myfirstlastname.com. It's right here for people that are Facebook and YouTube. Okay. Kirsten Liebelt, KirstenLiebelt. That's my name. KirstenLiebelt.com, and it will bring you here. And it's also on all my profiles. So You can find it. But here's the total body reset, fourth button right there. Fourth button right there. You can just click on that. You can order it. Make sure you register as a customer so that you can get all the perks. Don't check out as a guest. You will not get the customer campaign or the free shipping if you check out as a guest. For anybody else, you're kind of like, I really need to chat with you for just a second. Like I have a quick question, or I want to tell you just a little bit about what's going on with me or what I've tried. Perfect. Messenger, my DMs on Instagram. You can on my site, go all the way to the bottom. You can text me. There are many ways. So don't sabotage yourself if you are really seriously wanting to shift something for the holiday season. Remember when Susan said, the food noise is way down. If you need to at least just get your food noise like simmer the heck down, then maybe that's where you're starting, right? Just so that you can actually think straight. Have an amazing day, Deborah. See you later. Happy Thanksgiving. Yes, Jody, I'll see you later. That's awesome. Okay, everybody have such a good day. I'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time as we get ready for Thanksgiving. And yeah, have such a good day. And if you need something, let me know. Bye, you guys. Have a good week. Don't be so stressed now. Don't be too stressed with the Thanksgiving stuff getting going. Don't stress yourself out.